The old man stood perfectly still in the morning mist. His weathered hands hung loose at his sides, his eyes closed as if sleeping while standing. Bruce Lee watched from across the courtyard, his muscles tense and ready. Everyone said this 78-year-old master was just a forgotten relic from the past. But something about the way he breathed, the way he held his center, told Bruce a different story. "Master Chun," Bruce called out respectfully, "I've heard you were once the greatest, but times have changed. Modern martial arts have evolved." The old man's eyes opened slowly, like a dragon waking from centuries of sleep. "Young Bruce Lee." His voice was soft but carried across the courtyard like thunder. "You have defeated many fighters, broken many records, but have you ever faced someone who learned to fight before you were born?" In just 60 seconds, Bruce Lee would realize he had underestimated the most dangerous opponent of his life. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you never miss stories of legendary encounters like this one. Now let's see what happened next. It was 1969, 3 years before Bruce Lee would become a global superstar with Enter the Dragon. He had returned to Hong Kong to visit his family and train. His reputation had grown significantly. He had defeated karate champions in America, developed his revolutionary Jeet Kune Do fighting style, and was beginning to make waves in Hollywood. But Bruce was restless. He had heard whispers about Master Chun Wei, a legendary martial artist who had disappeared from the public eye 20 years ago. People in the old neighborhood spoke of him in hushed tones, claiming he had been undefeated in his prime, that he had mastered 5 different fighting styles, and that his reflexes defied the laws of physics. Most dismissed these stories as exaggerations, tales that grew taller with each telling. Bruce himself was skeptical. He had met many so-called masters who relied on mystical nonsense rather than practical technique. But his curiosity was stronger than his doubt. Master Chun lived in a forgotten village 2 hours outside Hong Kong. The place seemed frozen in time, with narrow streets, traditional wooden houses, and elderly residents who moved with surprising grace. When Bruce arrived, he found the old master tending to a small garden behind a modest home. Chun Wei was 78 years old but stood straight as bamboo. His face was deeply lined, his hair completely white, but his eyes were sharp and alert. He wore simple gray clothes and moved with an economy of motion that Bruce immediately recognized. This was not a man who wasted energy on unnecessary movements. "Master Chun," Bruce had said, bowing respectfully, "I am Bruce Lee. I have come seeking knowledge." The old man had looked up from his gardening, studying Bruce with those penetrating eyes. "Knowledge? Or confirmation that you are the best?" The question hung in the air like a challenge. Bruce felt his pride flare but controlled it. "I seek to test myself against the greatest masters. If you were once the best, I would be honored to learn from you." Chun Wei had smiled faintly. "Once the best? Young man, I did not stop being excellent simply because I stopped competing. A sword does not become dull because it stays in its sheath." That was when the challenge began. Chun Wei suggested they have tea first, a traditional custom. As they sat across from each other, Bruce noticed everything. The way the old master's hands remained perfectly steady as he poured tea. The way his breathing was so controlled it was almost invisible. The way he seemed to radiate calm awareness of everything around him. "You are impatient," Chun observed. "You want to fight now, to prove yourself." "I respect tradition," Bruce replied carefully. "But yes, I believe in testing theory with practice." "Then let us make this interesting," Chun said. "We will spar. But I will fight you using only defensive movements. I will not attack you once. If you can land 3 clean strikes on me within 10 minutes, I will acknowledge that modern martial arts have indeed surpassed the old ways." Bruce felt a mixture of excitement and suspicion. It sounded too easy. But he also sensed this was not arrogance from the old master. It was confidence built on decades of expertise. They moved to the courtyard as word spread through the village. Elderly residents gathered to watch, their faces showing no surprise, only quiet anticipation. They had seen Master Chun's abilities before. Bruce removed his shirt and began his warm-up routine. His body was in peak condition, muscles defined, movements explosive and precise. He had trained harder than anyone he knew, pushing his physical limits every single day. At 29 years old, he was faster and stronger than he had ever been. Master Chun simply stood in the center of the courtyard, hands at his sides, breathing slowly. "I am ready when you are," the old man said. Bruce approached cautiously, circling left. He threw a quick jab to test the distance and reaction time. Chun Wei's head moved slightly, and the punch missed by inches. Bruce threw a combination jab cross hook. Each strike missed by the smallest margin possible, as if the old master could see them coming before they launched. "You telegraph your intentions," Chun said calmly. "Your shoulders tense before you strike." Bruce adjusted, relaxing his shoulders, throwing strikes with less preparation. A lightning-fast side kick aimed at Chun's ribs. The old master rotated his body, and Bruce's foot whistled through empty air. Before Bruce could recover, he felt a gentle tap on his shoulder, so light it barely registered, but the message was clear. Chun could have struck him. Frustration began building. Bruce increased his speed, throwing combinations that had overwhelmed opponents in the past. Punches, kicks, elbows, knees. A barrage of attacks that would have defeated most fighters within seconds. But Master Chun flowed around each strike like water around rocks, his movements minimal but perfectly timed. The villagers watched in silence. They had seen this before, younger, stronger fighters becoming increasingly desperate as they realized they were facing something beyond normal skill. Bruce's breathing was becoming labored. He had been attacking non-stop for 3 minutes and had not landed a single clean strike. Master Chun, meanwhile, showed no signs of fatigue. His breathing remained steady, his expression calm, almost serene. "You fight with anger now," Chun observed. "Anger clouds judgment." Bruce knew the old master was right, but knowing something and controlling it were different things. His reputation was being challenged by someone who barely moved, who used only defense, who seemed to exist half a second ahead of every action. He changed tactics. Instead of overwhelming speed, he tried deception. Feinting high, striking low. Feinting left, attacking right. But Chun Wei's responses were instantaneous and perfect, as if he could read Bruce's intentions before they fully formed. "Your mind is still too loud," the old master said. "I can hear your thoughts before they become actions." Time was running out. Bruce had perhaps 4 minutes left to land 3 clean strikes. He had landed 0. Sweat poured down his face. His legendary speed and precision seemed useless against an opponent who moved like smoke, who seemed to understand the language of combat at a level Bruce was only beginning to comprehend. A horrible realization was dawning. He might actually fail this challenge. Bruce Lee, who had defeated karate champions, who had revolutionized martial arts philosophy, who was being courted by Hollywood studios, he might be defeated by a 78-year-old man who was barely breaking a sweat. The villagers continued watching silently, their faces knowing. They had seen young warriors come to test Master Chun before. The old man had been doing this for 50 years, and the outcome was always the same. With 2 minutes remaining, something shifted in Bruce's consciousness. He stopped fighting. He stopped trying to defeat the old master. Instead, he began observing. He watched how Chun Wei's weight distribution changed microscopically before each defensive movement. He noticed the old master's eyes, not looking at Bruce's hands or feet, but at his center, his hips, where all movement originated. He recognized a profound truth. Chun Wei was not reacting to his strikes. He was reacting to his intentions. Bruce stilled his mind. He had spent years developing the philosophy of be like water, formless, shapeless, flowing. But in his desperation to win, he had forgotten his own teaching. He had become rigid, forceful, predictable. He took 3 slow breaths, centering himself. The courtyard seemed to grow quieter, even though no one had made a sound. Master Chen's expression changed slightly, the faintest flicker of approval in his eyes. Bruce moved again, but differently. Not with desperate aggression, but with fluid spontaneity. A strike emerged from stillness with no telegraphing, no preparation, pure intention becoming action in the same instant. His fist grazed Chun Wei's shoulder. Not a solid hit, but contact. The old master smiled. "Better. You are beginning to understand." Bruce flowed into another movement, this time a sweeping low kick that forced Chun to shift his stance. In that microsecond of adjustment, Bruce's palm tapped the old master's chest. Light contact, but legitimate. 2 strikes. 30 seconds remained. The energy in the courtyard changed. The villagers leaned forward. Even they had rarely seen anyone land even one strike on Master Chun, let alone two. Bruce and Chun moved in a dance now, no longer opponent and victim, but two martial artists exploring the boundaries of skill together. Bruce had stopped trying to defeat the old master and had started trying to understand him. In that shift from ego to learning, his abilities multiplied. With 5 seconds remaining, Bruce executed a technique that did not come from any traditional style. It was pure Jeet Kune Do, the art of the intercepting fist, the philosophy of fighting without fighting. His movement had no name, no form, just spontaneous expression of intention. His knuckles touched Master Chen's forehead, so gently it would not have hurt an infant, but technically, undeniably, a third strike. Time expired. Master Chun Wei stepped back and bowed deeply to Bruce Lee, a gesture of profound respect that shocked the watching villagers. In 50 years of teaching, they had never seen their master bow to anyone after a challenge. "You succeeded," Chun said. "Not because you are faster or stronger than I am, but because you were humble enough to stop fighting and start learning. In those final moments, you embodied the true spirit of martial arts." Bruce returned the bow, his chest heaving with exertion, his mind racing with revelations. "Master Chun, I came here believing I would test you. Instead, you have tested me and revealed how much I still have to learn." The old master smiled warmly. "Bruce Lee, you have developed something remarkable with your Jeet Kune Do. You understand that fighting is not about rigid techniques, but about honest self-expression. I am old, and my time is nearly finished. But you will carry these arts into the future, and show the world what we have always known, that martial arts are not about violence. They are about understanding yourself and others at the deepest level." They sat together as the sun climbed higher in the sky, talking for hours about philosophy, technique, and the nature of mastery. Bruce learned that Master Chun had stopped competing not because he had been defeated, but because he had realized competition was not the path to true understanding. He had spent 20 years in this quiet village, refining his skills not through fighting, but through meditation, observation, and teaching the few students who sought him out. "The greatest victory," Chun told him, "is not defeating your opponent. It is mastering yourself. You have movie careers ahead of you, fame, money, all the things young men desire. But never forget this moment. Never forget that true strength comes not from your muscles or your speed, but from your willingness to remain a student, even when the world calls you a master." Bruce absorbed these words like a sponge. Years later, when he became the most famous martial artist in the world, he would return to this village 3 more times before Master Chen's death. Each visit deepened his understanding. Each conversation refined his philosophy. The lesson of that day shaped everything Bruce Lee would become. His movies would showcase spectacular physical skills, but his teachings would emphasize the deeper truths he had learned from a forgotten grandmaster in a silent village. The importance of humility, the value of continuous learning, the understanding that mastery is a journey, not a destination. Master Chun Wei died peacefully in 1971 at age 80, surrounded by students who had learned that the most powerful warrior is not the one who wins every fight, but the one who knows when not to fight at all. If this story inspired you to never stop learning, no matter how skilled you become, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's the most important lesson you've learned from someone unexpected? Your story might inspire thousands. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to remember that humility and continuous learning are the true paths to mastery.